morning, Cole City. It's an amazing Monday morning right here in the city of Enugu. And on the station that rises with the sun. Good morning, Cole City Breakfast Show, as it's 8 o'clock already. Today on matters of the moment, of course, the matter on ground is the Children's Day celebration, and our focus is aptly captioned Investing in Children for a Productive Future. And you know who is there? The Honourable Commissioner for Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, Honourable Mrs. Ngozi Enih. Glad to have you on our show. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Zeka. Good morning, Chama.
Good morning. All right, Adeoles, now we are letting our phone lines open already so that you can join the conversation at any point in time. If you don't have anything to say, you wish the listening kids were anchoring matters of the moment today with Chioma Agolana. Chioma, say hi again.
Hi, good morning. You're welcome to Good Morning, Cole City.
All right, with you now, ma'am. It's just about 2 days before this administration clocks 1 rather. I don't know why I'm fast forwarding it. It looks like 2 already if you ask me. But I know that you didn't take office until much later, so you are not 1 year in office. But then you have done stuff. So let's take us through the activities of the Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development. There is a change in nomenclature, okay, from what we used to know. It was Gender Affairs and Social Development. At some point it was even just Women Affairs. But you are running a 3-spearheaded ministry right now. So how was it been?
Thank you. Good morning, Enugu. We thank God, so far so good. Initially it was the Ministry of Gender Affairs and Social Development, but our Governor, His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubisimba, being a child-friendly governor, had to put into consideration the children, who takes care of them, who answers for them, who speaks for them. That was why we have to include children in the ministry. Now it is the Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, Enugu State. I wouldn't say it has been an easy one, sincerely speaking, but it's a journey that I am finding exciting, and I'm willing, through the government, the support of the Enugu State government, through the office of the governor and that of our First Lady, we are pushing so hard and so strong to make sure that every child in Enugu is protected and every child in Enugu gets back to school, because they are the future we see.
Okay, the protection and welfare of the children. You have said that the plan is to make an Enugu child a better child in terms of development and all. Are there things that the ministry has done?
Yes, a lot. The ministry have done a lot. Through the support of His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubisimba, we are fighting so hard. We fought and we're still fighting so hard, especially at the area of child trafficking and getting the kids off the street back to school. And one of the policies of His Excellency is that there should be zero tolerance for any form of child abuse, child molestation, child trafficking, child abandonment and neglect. It is not going to be tolerated in Enugu State under the administration of His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubisimba. Barely 2 weeks ago, we concluded our sensitization towards Enugu West Senatorial Zone, where we try to sensitize them and advocate for the complete abolishment of child trafficking through the Enugu State Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, in collaboration with our some officers from the police, the civil defense, the NAPTIP, and so many other CSOs and NGOs in Enugu. We tried we went there to talk to them, to talk to the Igwes, to talk to the chiefs, to talk to the communities, to make them to understand the harmful impact of child trafficking, or sending an underage child to go and serve as a help to other families without knowing what the child will face or what the future of the child is at such homes. We sensitize them, and those communities we visited, I believe they heard us. They were so happy, they were so excited. Most of them even confessed that such thing had never happened. Nobody had been able to come and tell them that you can manage with your child. The basic education is free in Enugu State now. You can manage with your child, and you can send your child to a government school, and your child will become productive and come out to be a better person, rather than sending your child to a home where you do not know what the future, the fate of that child, or what the future holds for that child in such home.
And we're talking about children being sent to homes where the parents are not even aware how they'll be treated. The reason why parents do this is because they're not able to cater to the needs of the kids. Are there plans for children who find themselves in families of people who cannot afford to feed them? Are there plans for people like that?
Sure, of course. In Enugu State right now, there are a lot of empowerments going on in almost every sector. The SDGs are doing theirs. The Ministry of Labor and Productivity are into theirs. Ministry of Poverty Eradication, even the SME center we have in Enugu State. There are a whole lot of empowerments. The one for the Ministry of Women and Gender Affairs is coming up very soon, and we will still announce to Enugu and the criteria and how to key into such empowerment. We encourage our parents to come and partake in these empowerment programs so that you can be able to fend for your family and not relying on another person to cater or care for your children.
Today is already 27th of May, Children's Day, yes? So since we're talking about what we can do to enable parents who cannot take care of their children, do you have the criteria for these SMEs that you're talking about? What can they do to be able to assess it so that these children can get back to school, have a better chance at success like other children?
Oh, well, the empowerment programs running in Enugu State currently are being advertised. It's true that most of those parents, especially those in the rural areas, they don't have the mobile facility or the internet network to get into those. But there is something the Office of the First Lady is doing. We are in collaboration with the Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, Enugu State. We are trying to collate the number of widows and the orphans in Enugu State through our local governments, and we'll be announcing it through our local government so that we'll have the data of the number of widows in Enugu State and the number of children in Enugu State. It will help us to, when we are trying to, create initiatives or empowerment programs that will contain these people. We'll know the number we are planning for, and it will also help us to know how to manage it very well, so that's a case of maybe there is this empowerment coming up and we are looking at empowering 200 widows. When we empower them, we have their data and we know that we have empowered this number of widows. Then when another empowerment program comes up, we bring another set of widows, and it will also help us to manage and also monitor those we've already empowered. That is exactly what the Office of the First Lady of the State is doing in collaboration with the Ministry of Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development in the state.
Talking about investment in children, the primary investment from the society, from various families, from the government is investment in education. Now, I don't know if you have a collaboration as a ministry with local communities for one, and non-governmental organizations in addressing the issues of education to children, access to education, and issues like child labor and child abuse. Do you have any of such collaborations?
Yes, we do. The ministry oversees the affairs and the activities of the NGOs and the CSOs and the local communities, and we have the synergy amongst us. Why most of the cases that we have with regards to child abuse, most of them are being brought up by those NGOs and reported to our DEX officers at the local government to help us reach the rural areas directly, to help us give the voice to the children in the rural areas. We have this great synergy between the ministry, the CSOs, the NGOs. Just yesterday, an NGO had a children's party, Epic PR had a children's party for the children in orphanage homes and the street children. The ministry was there to give their support. That is to show you the kind of synergy we enjoy with these organizations.
All right, moving away from that, let's look at the ways the ministry promote gender equality and empowerment. I know we're talking about children, but we want to limit it to the young girls within the state. You know, you catch them young and all of that.
The ministry are doing a whole lot in the promotion of gender equality because if our governor is going to build our economy from 4.4 to $30 billion, there must be gender equality, and that is why he is seriously advocating and working so hard to make sure that every youth in Enugu State have one thing or another doing, especially in terms of tech, because tech is the new gold mine in the whole world now, and that is where most of our empowerment programs for the youth comes in. And in SME, in our SME center, whether you're a boy or a girl, once you are a youth and you apply and you meet with the criteria, there is nothing that will stop them from giving you an opportunity to learn. And nobody will say because you are a girl you're not going to partake in this. Gone are the days that we believe tech is solely for boys. Is no longer that way in Enugu State. In Enugu State, you will believe with me that there is complete gender equality in Enugu State. As a matter of fact, on the 9th of March that we celebrated the International Women's Day, the female political appointees went to pay courtesy visit to His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubisimba. And surprisingly, I think we have more numbers than the male appointees, and that is wonderful. I was really excited, I was happy, and we believe we are going to get more female in policy and decision-making positions in Enugu State.
Okay, you have said quite a number of things that your ministry has achieved in less than 1 year since you were appointed the commissioner for that ministry. Some of the things you said were already out there on the news, and the ministry is open about. Every other time there's something happening with the Ministry of Gender Affairs, Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development in Enugu State. But I need it to come from you to the less named public. I don't know. The achievements, the ones that are very close to your heart, you was particularly fulfilled that you were there when it happened.
Ngozi, you know, I couldn't have made so much achievements if the government is not supporting the ministry, if the governor is not supporting the ministry, if the wife of the governor is not supporting the ministry. We have achieved so much but so little because we still have a very long way to go, and some of those achievements, as we all know, is the case of Happiness Nwafo, the little Enugu girl that was abused physically by her supposed guardian at Anambra, and His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubisimba granted her a full scholarship from primary to university level. That is one, and I'm so excited about that. We have so many other achievements. We have a case of a 10-year-old girl, Chikamso, that was raped by the uncle, the man that he lives with. He had been raping her for like the past 6 months, and the girl was bold enough to talk to the teacher about it, and the ministry was to the information with regards to that, and immediately we went into action, got him arrested thanks to the police, who of course the police are so important to us, because they are the ones we use to enforce our arrest and to make sure that the perpetrators are being arrested. We went into action and we got him arrested, and the case was charged to court. The man remanded. That is a credit, and all thanks to His Excellency for his swift response, and to our First Lady, Her Excellency Mrs. Nkechi Nyiremba. We have so many orders, so many arrests, and so many cases at court. We have some wins already at the court, although the trial began before I got into office, but we were granted victory. That's for the girl child that was molested or that was abused. That is credit to the ministry too. And we have a case that we are looking into that just happened on the 19th of May, where a young widow in North Enugu State precisely was accused by the family members that she didn't cry. There was no tears in her eyes when the husband died. And when I got to know about the case, I was shocked, because we all mourn differently. And this young widow, the husband had been sick for some time. She has been the one taking the husband from one hospital to another, catering for him and caring for him. And the husband died on the 8th of December, buried on the 9th of December. On the 19th of May, the family woke up and remembered that she didn't cry when the husband died. And that is like approximately 6 months ago. It is barbaric, and it is not acceptable at all. It's one of the harmful traditional practices that Enugu State government is putting her foot down to make sure that it is being abolished. We all mourn differently, because you did not see tears in her eyes. Probably she had cried and got tired of crying. Probably she cries in her room. You don't know what that widow is going through, and you brought her up again to torture her and walk her through the walk of shame, taking her to the market square and allowing people to make jest of her. That is not acceptable. We are on the case right now, and I was excited that the ministry could get up and speak for the young widow, that she knows she is not alone in this journey, that she has the backing of the government to be able to mourn her husband peacefully, and the way that suits her to mourn. That I cry out if something happens to me does not mean that I know, yes, or that I know what happened to the man. That I didn't cry out still does not mean that I know what happens to the man.
Yes.
We mourn differently, and it is high time for the society to understand that harmful widowhood practices will not be tolerated in any way in Enugu State under the administration of His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubuisemba. Because if I begin to count our little achievements, I don't think we are going to leave the studio. So for now, let me stop at this.
All right. I don't know if you were involved with the masquerade young nurse saga. Did you intervene? Because this is a gender matter now.
Sure. We intervened. When I got across the video, I called the young girl to hear her own side of the story. And the painful part of it is that this is a girl on duty call. This is a girl that works in a hospital that is even among those who are in charge of helping us get well when we are sick. She's a nurse. And for the masquerade to have beating her up to the extent she fell into a gutter is a no. In that regard, I have to personally thank our dear governor's wife, Her Excellency Mrs. Nkechi Nyiremba, because she acted swiftly to that case. We put up a letter to the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism. We put up a letter to the Commissioner for Local Governments and Rural Matters. We put up a letter to the Commissioner of Police and so many other stakeholders to make sure that the perpetrators were brought to book. And we were excited when one of the Riopa guys was arrested, and we know justice is going to take its full course in that regard.
Okay. What strategy? I like the fact that you were always on ground. I remember that of Anambra State. You had to leave Enugu to attend to that matter and ensure that justice was served, and that it didn't just end there. The girl, most people would prefer that they pass through that to enjoy the kind of largesse that she and her family began to enjoy from the government because of that particular matter. Now, I don't know if there are other things that the ministry is doing to challenge the adverse challenges faced by children, especially children with disabilities, in assessing education, in assessing healthcare, in assessing social services in Enugu State. You know, it's not the same for them with other children. Do you have special plans for children living with disabilities?
Yeah, we do. And as the theme for this year, 2024 Children's Day goes, it says enhancing the total well-being of the Nigerian child through education and skills development. And with this theme, even children living with disabilities are included. And Ngozi, you will believe with me that our governor is way ahead of time. Through the smart school, the 260 smart schools that are being built in all the wards in Enugu State. I don't know if you had ever been to one of them to witness what is happening there.
Sure, I've seen that of the pilot school at Owo.
Okay, if you have seen that, you will see that the children living with disabilities are included in that project. You will see how flat the place is so that they can have easy access to the building. And in that smart school, we are also going to have special classes for them. We are going to have skill acquisition centers also for them. And a whole lot will go on again. We are planning on already working on our rehabilitation center at Enih, and we are going to incorporate all these things into the plan to make sure that no child, or not even a child, anybody living with disabilities is being carried along by this government. The government knows that they exist, and for us to have equity, they must be inclusive. We must include them in our plans and in our policies, especially the children. The children are at the core heart of His Excellency and the wife. They are, I will say that they are their primary need to make sure that those children are comfortable. Like we say, there is an ability in every form of disability. We don't believe that they are completely out of it. We believe that there is still something that they can do. There is still something that we can do to encourage them, for them also to reach their full potentials.
There are concerns about child labor, apart from the ones being sent to other homes. There are concerns about children who are sent out to go hawk things for the family to be able to feed. You know, especially in the evenings when you're headed home, you see so many of them selling sachet water, oranges, and all whatnot. Now, in Sena climes, the people who gave birth to these children go through a situation where these children are collected from them, placed in foster homes, and sent to families that are able to take care of them. I don't know if we've gotten to that level, because there are so many of children like that here in Enugu State. I'm sure it's not peculiar to Enugu, but we have a lot of them here.
Yeah, we do have a lot of them, but upon assumption of office, we we stated that we are not going to tolerate that, and we are working, the ministry is working so hard to make sure that we take the kids off the streets. Personally, I have been to places to talk to these children, and the most painful part of it is that most of these kids stay with their parents, and when you ask them, where is your mommy or daddy, you say they are at home. What are they doing? Nothing. Because they feel that the society will have pity or sympathy on the children, they prefer to send out the children and stay behind, doing absolutely nothing. And I will want to plead with the society. The society are also enablers of those children, even those begging. If we encourage them to go back to school, and when you look at them, you notice that majority of them are still within the range of the basic education level. When you tell them to go back to school, they will say, my mommy will not allow me to go back to school. And if we stop enabling these children, they will stop coming out. That is where we need the society also. We have task force that are in charge of this, and we are also in communication with the market heads to make sure that such doesn't happen into the market. And whenever we get a call or we get a report that this is happening here, this is happening here, you will see us running to that place to address the issue. But we want to beg these parents, please get up and do something. Get up and do something. Stop using your child as a means to make ends meet. Your child, there is a time for everything. There's a time to sow and there's a time to reap. I believe that now is time for the children to sow by going through school, getting education, knowing that there is dignity in labor, not coming out to beg. Don't use that child to come out to hawk. And honestly, Chioma, majority of these children are staying with their parents. Majority of them, from our investigation, they are staying with their parents. It's just few of them that are helpers to some people. And once we catch any child doing that, we use the child to lure the parents. And we arrest the parents.
Okay.
Because the child rights law is against it.
But I'm sure you're going to get set for the children's party. What a time to be a child in Enugu State.
Yes, indeed.
Children, we are celebrating. It looks like the governor of Enugu State, Dr. Ndubisi Peter Mba, already knew the theme for this year. Okay, Nigerian child through education and skill development. Okay, he's in spirit. I want to sound a bit sanctimonious this morning. He's in the spirit. Okay. All right, Honourable Mrs. Ngozi Enih, for finding time to be with us on Matters of the Moment today. We appreciate your company, ma'am.
Thank you, Ngozi, for having me.
She is the Enugu State Commissioner for Children, General Affairs and Social Development. Investing in children for a productive future was our focus. My name is Ngozi Kamba. Signing out already from the program Matters of the Moment, a segment of Good Morning Call City, and of course signing off from the breakfast show this morning. Do join us tomorrow at 6 a.m. all the way till 9 o'clock for another beautiful outing. We're still celebrating this administration at 1 year, so expect more tomorrow. Good morning, Call City. Chioma.
My name is Chioma Agalana. Good morning, Call City.
And I am Ngozi Mba. Good morning, Call City. Have a pleasant day.